Yes, what's going on, everyone? My name is Paul Wisdom, and today we are going to be talking about narcissism abuse. This is actually my first video. This is my first video talking about narcissism. Many people, I've spoken to many people over time, and they've actually asked me to actually that I should make videos about narcissists because they say that it seems as though I have a lot of knowledge and I have a lot to say about it. So I believe that I'm going to do that. I'm going to start making some videos on narcissistic abuse. There's many people on YouTube that have their different channels and their different takes on it. I have a different approach to narcissistic abuse, a little bit of a different approach that I believe that it'll help some of you guys that may not understand it, may not understand what some of the other people are providing. I have a more different way of explaining it. So the first thing we're going to get into, and by the way, thank you so much for joining me here on this channel. Thank you so much for being here. If this is the first video you're consuming, congratulations, because you are in the right place at the right time. And I am here and I am going to be breaking down, cracking the code on this narcissism thing so that more people can become awakened and aware, so that more people can understand it, so that more people can know the signs of it, know how to deal with it, know what to do. And so I'm gonna help with that, and hopefully you guys can gain some knowledge from what I present here today. So let's get into it. In order to first understand narcissism, in order to know how to spot it, in order to understand what gaslighting is, what triangulation is, what manipulation is, what object constancy is, what mirroring is, what all these things are, in order to understand what all these things are, the very first thing we have to do is we have to understand what narcissism is. We have to understand what a narcissist is, so that it can all make sense. Because if we don't know exactly what a narcissist is, then all of this will not make any sense to any of you guys. And so that's how I'm going to approach it. So these videos that I produce, the first videos that I put out there, they're going to be centered around how on what narcissism is, how to spot narcissism, how to know if you're dealing with one. And then the next other videos that I place on are going to be explaining the different terms, manipulation, gaslighting, etc., etc. All right, so let's get into it. So many people ask the question generally, what is a narcissist? So now many people, when they hear the word narcissist, many people immediately think somebody who looks in the mirror and someone who looks in the mirror and looks at themselves in the mirror, and they just stare at themselves. Well, that to some extent is true. That's true. You know, if you look the definite, if you look up a narcissist is actually a person, and essentially that person looks in the mirror and stares at themselves, which is true to an extent, but there's more there. It's much more deeper than that, and that's what I'm going to focus on. That's what I'm going to get into. And so, what narcissism is, when we hear the word narcissist, we usually think of someone, yes, who stares in the mirror. But did you know that there is something called NPD? Write that down. If you have a piece of paper, I encourage you guys that when I'm making these presentations that you guys write this stuff down, just because when you write it down, you will remember it better and you will be able to understand better, because then you can go back, you can watch this video if you want, but you can also write it down, because when you write down things, you tend to remember it. It tends to help you remember better, whatever works for you though. Okay. Okay. So NPD stands for narcissistic personality disorder. So what is narcissistic personality disorder? What is it? It's a mental health condition which someone has an unreasonably high sense of their own importance. I know, a high sense of their own importance, right? So some characteristics of this disorder include needing and seeking too much attention, wanting people to admire them, and they lack the ability to understand or care about another person's feelings. Yeah. So it sounds crazy. I know it sounds really crazy. I've just recently been going into this and learning more about this over the past couple of years because I experienced I experienced narcissistic abuse myself. That's why I'm able to speak about this because I have my own experiences when it comes down to it. And by the way, if you want to know my experience, then I will be starting to do some one-on-one coaching sessions in which you can email me at paul.wisdom_03 at hotmail.com, and we can set up a coaching session and we can get you started on your journey to understanding narcissism. And I can tell you about my story. I'm not going to do it here just because, there are some stuff that can might be a little personal to some others, and I'm not sure how others will take it. So I think that it's best if I just speak to people one on one, so that it will they can be one on one with me and they can ask their questions and things of that nature. Okay. So, just wanted to let you guys know that there are several layers to narcissism in the glossary of terms with this disorder. And just know that narcissists, they exist everywhere, unfortunately. Tough pill to swallow, right? But it's true. They exist everywhere. They're in a variety of races. Know this, narcissism does not discriminate, okay? It does not discriminate. Every race has some narcissism in there. Genders as well. It's not just exclusive to men. Now, there was a research that said that most narcissists are men, but I'm not sure if that's exactly true because there are some women as well that are also narcissistic as well. Um, so they come in all races, genders, families. It could be your brother, it could be your sister, it could be a step parent, it can be your mother, it could be your dad. Yeah, they're all in the family dynamic. It can be in a church community, it can be in a neighborhood that you live in. They can be, their narcissists are everywhere at work as well. That's another thing. Workplace bullies as well. A lot of them are narcissists. And so, yeah, just wanted to let you guys know that, yeah, narcissism, it's becoming a more prevalent thing. A lot of people all around the world are talking about this now. It's becoming a talk of the town, and more people are trying to become educated and understand what they're dealing with because every day, at least one person is being either discarded, one person is getting into these narcissistic relationships, and many people just don't know what they're getting into. Many people don't realize until later on that, oh my gosh, this person that I was with for this long is a narcissist. Oh my gosh. And they don't know what to do. And so that's why many people are creating channels. Many people are trying to educate people as much as they can so that people can become aware of this narcissistic thing, and they can sort of have an idea of what to do about it. Okay, so now that we've uncovered that, there's some other stuff that I want to uncover, which is many people are going to ask the question, well, how do I know if someone is a narcissist? Well, that's a really, really good question. That's probably the question that 90% of the population are asking. How do I know if someone's a narcissist? Well, there are two ways that you can know if somebody is a narcissist. The first is if they display any of the traits that I mentioned in the definition below that I asked you guys to write down. If they portray any of those traits, then you know right away that something isn't right with this person. That they could potentially be a narcissist. Now, the second thing is if you say the word no. Now, know this, that the word no is actually a very strong word. It's a very strong word, and many people are scared of saying no because people are scared of, am I going to upset this person if I say no? But the truth is that when you say the word no, what it actually does is it actually makes a boundary. It actually makes boundaries for you, and it creates a boundary so that it's like saying the word no. In other words, like it's almost like boundary setting, where you're setting a boundary and you're letting other people know that you will not be taken advantage of. Because a lot of people in this day and age, a lot of people are being taken advantage of, unfortunately, and so many people don't know what to do about it. And so, yeah, those are two ways that you know that someone is a narcissist. If you say no to them, and then but not just if you say no, but you have to watch how they react when you say no. So if they react in a way, if they start to put you down, if they start calling you names, if they start getting aggressive, and if they start asking, well, why would you say no? Why you always say yes? And if they try to make you feel small, then you know that they have some narcissistic tendencies because a normal person, if you say no to them, will say, okay, I understand. Then you know that everything's okay. But with a narcissist, it's like they don't take no for an answer. They will come at you, and they won't stop pressuring you until you give in. And that's what narcissists want. They want to break down your boundaries so that you do come forth and you don't say no, that you say yes to them all the time. And narcissists actually don't like the word no. They hate hearing the word no. That's another thing about it. They don't like hearing the word no, okay? So that's one way. The second question, the second question here is, if it's someone I depend on, how do I deal with them on a day-to-day basis? If I find out this person is a narcissist and I deal with them on a day-to-day basis, how do I deal with them? That is a really, really good question. The answer to that question is you have to slowly start distancing yourself from this person and start creating an exit plan. And then you have to be sure of yourself. And then you have to, if you have kids, that's another thing. That's another difficult thing. If you have kids with them, unfortunately, and you have to be under the same roof, just become dull and boring, become unavailable. And another word for that is what's called gray rocking. Gray rocking is when you think of a rock, a gray rock, it's dull, it's boring. I mean, it's a living thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that a gray rock, it's dull and it's boring. And so that's what you do. You just become dull and you become boring. So how do you do that? That's the question many people ask. How do you do that? The way you do that is, let's say that the narcissist is coming at you and they're trying to make conversation. They say, "So how was your day today?" Then you just say, "It was good." And then if they ask you another question, a follow-up question and most of the times the next question they'll ask you is, could you tell me more about your day? And then you'll just say, it's good. And then you're just boring. You're just dull and boring. Or what you can also do there is you can also talk about what one thing I did that actually worked for me was I actually started talking about the weather, just the weather, whether it's hot outside or cold outside, and I'll just say, the weather's nice out. It's nice outside. It's beautiful. Or the weather is it's a little hotter. It's a little bit cold outside. You know what I mean? And just talk about that, and then they'll be bored. They'll wonder what's going on here, and then they be careful though, because if you start talking about that, the thing about narcissists, one thing you gotta know about them is that they have a sixth sense. They have a sixth sense. And they know when somebody is slowly catching on to them. And so once you start becoming dull and boring, they're going to start amping up the abuse a little bit more. They're going to start wanting to come at you they're gonna change the angle, and they're gonna see, it's not working. My tactics aren't working on this person or that person. And so they're gonna start trying different things. And so what you want to do there is you want to maintain your composure. You want to stay stoic. What does stoic mean? Write this down. I encourage you to write this down. What does stoic mean? Stoic means remain calm, remain centered, remain just be calm when they're coming at you, and just know that when they come at you, it is not your fault. It has nothing to do with you. You did nothing wrong. It's just that narcissists are master manipulators. They're good at manipulating people to get what they want, and they've been trained to think like that. Okay. So that's how you start becoming unavailable, start becoming dull, start becoming boring, but slowly remove yourself from this person, develop an exit plan. Now, the thing I will mention here is, do not, and I repeat, do not let them know what your exit plan is. Don't become so scared of them that you say, I'm going to be moving over here, I'm going to be doing that. No, 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 no. Do not do that. Whatever you do, do not mention anything about you leaving them. Because one thing narcissists thrive off of, they thrive off of control. They want to have the upper hand and they want to control the narrative, okay? And so if they can control you, that's a win-win for them. And they want to control getting rid of you. They don't want you getting rid of them. And so what I would suggest that you do, and I'm speaking, real here, guys, so really pay attention to this. What I would suggest that you do is while you're developing your exit plan, let's just say hypothetically that your exit plan is to move out and move to, let's say, your family's house, another friend's house, or something like that. What you want to do, wait until the narcissist is not home. Okay, just if they're not in your vicinity, make sure they're not in your vicinity. Okay, slowly start putting things in your vehicle. Start packing your stuff. Start putting things in boxes and start just moving things out of the house slowly. Okay, and then this will give you time to move forward, so that you're not scared, and so that you don't have to worry, because then once you started doing that, then you know that you've created your way out, that you know that there's a way out. And don't feel ashamed, don't feel bad about this, because you're taking the first steps to make sure that you're taken care of, because you're yourself, you're your own person. Okay, and nobody should be able to control your narrative, control who you are. Okay, so that's what you want to do there. Number three, the third question many people, that's the answer to number two. Number three, the next question people ask is, can a narcissist change? Will or can a narcissist change? That's the next thing people ask. And the answer to that question is no. They cannot change. Narcissists, they get worse and worse and worse over time. And after a while, what you're gonna start dealing with, and I'm gonna go through all this, so don't you worry. What's gonna happen to the narcissist eventually is they'll become what's called an aging narcissist, which I'm gonna talk about in a later video. But just know that the narcissist cannot change. They will get worse over time. Okay, and they are the person that they are. Okay, so yes, all three of these things I've just discussed with you guys about what is a narcissist, how do you know if you're dealing with one, how do you deal with one if you have to live with them on a daily basis, etc., etc. That's what I've discussed in this video. I'm going to create another video that starts talking about um, some of the glossary, some of the terms in the glossary: manipulation, gaslighting, triangulation. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna put up. That will be my next video talking about that. So that's how it's gonna go. So I've just created this video on what is a narcissist, and then after this video, I'm gonna outline the some of the glossary of the terms. So, for example, my next video is going to be what is manipulation. We're going to go and talk about that. We're going to talk about how to know if you're being manipulated. And then after that will be gaslighting, and so forth and so forth. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the narcissist equation, love bomb stage, then the devaluation stage, and then the discard. We'll talk about that. And I hope to see you guys there. So thank you so much for joining me here today on this channel. It's called Paul Wisdom's Narcissism 101. So we're gonna keep going on this channel. I hope that you guys can follow me. I hope that you guys will find insight in this, and drop comments below if you have experiences, if you have questions. Like I said, if you want to speak one-on-one, I do one-on-one hourly sessions on paul.wisdom_03@hotmail.com. I'll put that info down below in the description, and I hope to see you guys on the next video. Okay, thank you so much for joining me today.